Let's see what we talking about here. It's always something crazy, but we are almost, maybe potentially back. Let's see. We checking. It's always crazy when you have two different platforms talking to each other. So it's the beauty of being live. It is spinning.
You
Test,
got the blue
test,
circle?
test. Anybody out there in Twitch land? We are back. It's the Papa Gift Show. Talk to us. Let's see who we got in the room with us. Let me check this thing one more.
Are you
Can
on
you see
there?
me? Can you see me? Hello, hello, hello.
I can I
Okay.
can see you.
Okay, good. So it kicked us out. Let's see if this one is going. Live stream. Oh shoot, where is it? Testing. Who's out there with us? Talk to us. Let me refresh this bad boy. There we go.
Oh,
Yes, I see us now. All right, all right, all right. We are live. I told you, bro, every time.
yeah,
Every time. It never fails, but it's all good. So this
that's
is
right.
the thing. Let me make sure we got let me pull the chat box out so we can see everybody that's talking to us. And we have five people in the group. Talk to us. Who's out there talking and watching us and sitting down, getting ready for this awesome conversation with my brother
Right.
Johnson. Yes,
Fam.
yes. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, or issues, y'all go ahead and drop them in the chat box. We will make sure that we try to hit everybody's stuff. Now, just some housekeeping rules is uh please keep it good. Look, we both retired military and I don't know I don't know if we'll be able to maintain our professionalism if people get unprofessional. Lord help us. Just um keep it all good.
That's right.
So on that, brother, I really appreciate you coming out, sitting and having some coffee with me
That's right.
as we chat it up, break some bread. Everybody out there, hope y'all went and got y'all a cup of Joe. If you drink it, if you don't, get you some tea or something. But we about to get into this thing. So, bro, on our show, how we do it is we open it up and allow for the guests to go ahead and tell them a little bit about themselves. So, first question is, who are you? Where you from? And what do you do?
Okay. So I'm glad to be here. Glad to be able to, like my brother said, to be able to break bread with my brother from Guam. We met in Guam, so that was 10 years ago.
Almost
So we
years ago.
established that relationship. So it's a joy to be here, brother, except especially knowing that it's 2025. You know what I mean? God has been good to us, and that's the foundation of who I am. And I know that's the foundation of that you walk in, that you stand on, and
Yes,
what the
sir.
show is based on. So, first and foremost, man of God, husband, father, papa, brother, and just an overall servant of God and to his kingdom and to his people. Uh, like you said earlier, prior military, retired Navy, 30 years in the Navy, not that I'm
Woo!
counting,
Bruh,
but yes, sir,
30.
30, 30. That's right. So God has
Yes,
been good, man. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? A lot of time on the sea, the seven seas, spent a lot of time away from family. So from South Carolina, born and raised. And right now, me and my wife We live here in Suffolk, Virginia.
Okay.
So, yeah, we reside in Suffolk in VA. Yeah, Hampton Road.
Nice. Suffolk. Oh, Hampton Road. I did some prison ministry out there in that area in Emporia, bro. Yeah. We
Okay.
drove out when we left Guam, we went to Norfolk. And out there in Norfolk, we ended up at this one ministry, and they had a very strong outreach ministry. And
Okay.
so one of the things that I ended up doing was I thought I was just going to like the low key, the soft, we about to get out prison ministry, but we ended up going to the maximum security joint.
Oh, you said in Emporia? So that was in probably Deerfield, Deerfield Correctional?
I don't know, bro. It was maximum security, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
was it wasn't. I was terrified. Look, if you ever get a chance to do some prison ministry, I hope that that's the only way you end up. Any of you guys out there, you end up in prison.
That's right.
Um, it's a different experience when they
It is.
you go in there and you get cleared, and then once you get cleared, they check all your stuff and they be like, all right, cool. And you go into this area, it's like an octagon, and they have like the guards, clink, 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 clink. And so you're in this holding area and it's got halls, all these
Yeah.
halls. And so me and the brother, my big bro, he was like, he seemed cool. So I was like, I gotta act like I'm at least cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, my heart was going. I was like,
I,
Jesus. And so then they said, okay, you guys, you turn around and you're gonna walk down that hall right there. And so I'm like, all right, which guards are gonna walk us down there?
mhm.
They like, nah, you guys just go ahead and you walk down that way. Maximum security, bro. Every prison movie that I've ever saw about, riots and everything is going through my head. I ain't never
Yeah.
clenched the Bible so hard in my life and prayed so hard.
I
Turns
bet.
out, bro, we got down there to the church. It was the best church. It was the best services. Them brothers in there was praising and worshiping. It was fired.
I bet
Um,
it was.
it was absolute. And so, the cool thing was my brother, he's still up there in that area. He's in Virginia Beach area. And
Really?
he's running to a bunch. I was in there. One of the brothers inside of the prison was Michael Vick's uncle. Looked just like him. Looked just like him. He said, "You know my nephew," and I was like, "Nah, I don't know him. I'm not from this area." He was like, "No, he played for the Falcons." Vic, and then it hit me, Elder Vic. Wow, wow.
Man,
Okay.
man,
So yeah, it was
man.
crazy, bro. Rabbit
That's
hole,
great.
like I was telling you about. See, I told you we be going.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
guilty.
I see it. I see how easy it is to do it.
All right, bro. So 30 years, bro. 30 years. That was my goal. I only hit 24. Body said keep playing. Um, so that's a lot of time. You experienced a lot, bro. So tell us one leadership lesson from your time in service that you find yourself applying to your daily life.
One leadership. You mean like either somebody I encounter, somebody that I probably work for and try to emulate their leadership style, or just from inherent leadership that I took with me,
Yeah,
when I
like
went in the
from the
Navy.
experiences that you had from you coming in to that time frame of you getting out. Because if you guys don't know anything about the military grow their own leaders, every branch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So you can come in as a smooth, no rank on anything, and then you can leave, a warrant or a officer or
yeah,
senior enlisted person.
yeah,
As long as you apply, basic principles that you're taught in your leadership schools. So what's
yeah,
one of those things that you find yourself utilizing still today?
yeah. I think the one that I can pinpoint that kind of, and a matter of fact, Tate, me and my uncle, I was on the phone this weekend talking to my uncle, my mom's elder brother, and we were talking about my grandfather. So growing up in South Carolina, I spent a lot of time around my grandfather.
Yeah.
And my grandfather could sit in a room, Tay, and not say one word all day. But from his actions and his movement, he communicated very well.
Mm,
So that's one thing that I think that I took into the Navy knowing who I was and coming from the people that I, the family that I came from, we know and we speak and spoke often about our identity.
Okay.
So when I went into the Navy, I knew who I was.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
I did not need anyone to convince me in boot camp that I belonged,
Mm-hmm.
because I always had a sense of belonging.
Right.
And having my grandfather, my mom was a visionary. My mom just taught us how to have vision,
Okay.
outside and beyond our immediate circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing combining those two to not to go down that rabbit hole was I
No,
think
that's
a
good.
leader must have vision and a leader must know who they are and know how to make the call. So
That's right.
those are some things that those are two things, if I could wrap them together,
Yeah.
combine those two things that I would say, man, that take me into even today being at work, working as a contractor and my call to ministry,
Mm-hmm.
not being afraid, like you said, you did 26,
24.
24 honorable years, and you said the body wanted to continue to play. So we both know how to put those jerseys on,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And jersey just a metaphor for that uniform that we
That's right.
wore, right? So we knew how to do that. So being a minister and after accepting my ministry and knowing who I was and being in the circle of people that we're in, because in the military, you're around all types of people.
That's right.
So you have to be comfortable with who you are and know how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I know that's a cliche, but that's
Mm.
just the truth.
That's the truth. Come on,
Because
bro.
we're asked to make calls, and sometimes it's people's lives that our decision affects.
Come on,
So
bro.
I was just knowing who I am and having a vision of where I wanted to take life. Because in the Navy, we had been on ships, we
Mm-hmm.
had divisions, and the divisions can consist of maybe 15 to 60 people.
Okay.
So several times as I, grew in rank and responsibility, like yourself, we would be in charge of platoons and divisions. So
That's right.
we know people can see when you're not genuine. People can
Oh,
see
bro.
when your decisions are rocky. And then
Come
when they
on,
see
bro.
it, you know what I'm saying? When they
Come
see
on.
it, they'll call you on it. Them young folks will call you like, hey,
They
hey,
will.
sir, you said this. Hey, Sarge, you said that.
That's
And
right.
then you wishy-washy, and that affects almost their movements
Mm-hmm.
because of your lack of, you know, being consistent.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
And genuine, bro. I have
And
one of
genuine.
my mentors, he always said, man, you can't fake caring. And if you guys didn't understand what I'm saying, because I know sometimes my words may slur together a little bit, you cannot fake that you care about somebody.
You can't.
You cannot. And like you said, them service men and women that are working with you, alongside you, for you, man, they can tell when you are a genuine leader. And when they can tell if you care about them, you care about their families, you care about, when you're out there at sea, when you're out there in the sandbox, wherever you are, if they know that you care about them, man, they will move mountains for you,
That's true.
right? But
That's
if they
true.
know you wishy-washy,
That's
bruh,
true. Yeah.
it may be mutiny out there, especially if bruh, 2 weeks at sea, y'all haven't hit land, it go crazy, don't it?
Well, I mean, because a lot of times on average, we out there from 2 weeks to 45 days, from
See?
45 days to maybe 90 days. And just like you're saying, that impression is lasting, right? That we have on our troops. I was in the gym after I retired, bearded up, earring, just in the gym on base, changing. And the young sailor walked in. He was out of the Navy, and he was like, "Hey, sir." And I turned, and I was like, and we started talking. I said, "Hey, you don't have to call me that anymore, man. I'm retired." He was like, "No." He said, "I'm not going to stop giving you your respect." He said, "Because you earned it." And I'm not, and that's just a testament to the people that are around us. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because we know when we come home, even with that uniform, the wife and the
Yes,
kids are also looking for us to
that's
be
right.
consistent.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? So yeah,
Amen.
that's a testament to what we do and the way we walk
Woo.
and the way we move, and people, preference that and reference that even after the uniform is off.
That's right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, in your opinion, what separates a good leader from a great leader?
Oh man. Because in the in today's time, man, we look at the numbers, we look at the data. In the NFL, you see a quarterback can throw a pass, and now we have cameras, we have technology
Hmm.
that can look at the difficulty of the throw
Right.
and the difficulty of the catch, or is he able to put the receiver in the right position?
Right.
And I think a good leader, my man, bro, teaches people consistently. And I might say that word over and over again, but putting people in the right place to be successful.
That's right.
Not only for them to be successful, but the whole division, the whole
Come on,
platoon, the
man.
whole family to be successful. Because in the young folks, the urban terms, they say we all have to eat.
That's right. Come
So
on,
I
bro.
always tried to put my sailors in a position professionally, professional growth, personal growth,
Yeah.
where we can all eat and therefore we will all progress and be
Man.
successful. So I think a good leader, man, not only looks at the eye candy that we put on our uniforms, the medals, the ribbons, which are important,
Yeah.
but we all a good leader. I said we, right? We want everybody on the team to put forth that effort where we can all pin those medals on our chest and know
Yeah.
internally that we earned them. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? So putting people in the right position and minimizing putting people in the positions of difficulty to be successful. I think
That's
that's what
right.
a good leader is.
Yeah, man. And I like the way you put that too, because one of the things that I realized as a young leader coming up was you can see the people that are in your corner and that's not in your corner, right?
Wow.
It's like I could I could tell when somebody's like, just for instance, I didn't find out about a lot of education stuff until I was late in my career.
Mm-hmm.
There was like I was in a good unit that made us go to school. Like, hey, look, you're gonna go to school. And when
Mm-hmm.
when I first came in, they only paid 75% of our tuition assistance. So
Mm-hmm.
my unit covered the other 25%. They say, why you ain't in school? Oh, we got that 25%. No worries. Now what's your excuse? So there was
Yeah.
really no excuse. So that was the leaders that cared. But then there was leaders that was around. They didn't teach us about FAFSA and all these different other programs. Um, the Army came out with a program where they were actually giving out laptops. All the senior leaders got the laptops. The juniors, we didn't even know anything about the laptops. It was like, what's this eArmyU deal? I mean, talk to us, help me out. And it's like, I barely made the cutoff to get it, but you know, they have these programs where it's like once you get to a certain rank, no matter if like, so I finished my career full time enlisted.
Uh-huh.
So I got up, but in some places, well, I was low density MOS. So once you get to a certain level, you're waiting on other people to move up so that you can promote, right?
Okay.
Um, and so if you get, they consider E7 and up senior leaders, right? But if you can give the program to an officer or a warrant officer, surely you can give it to any enlisted because as soon as you go to officer or warrant officer, you outrank them, right? And
Yeah.
so I missed those cutoffs because of those rank deals. And it's like for me, I'm like, okay, I missed it, but I want to make sure that my soldiers get it. And even more so, some of those programs, if I was out of the rank, my wife couldn't get some of those programs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things. It's like for me, I look back and I see that, and so that helped me. I was like you said something, and it for me it reminded me how I felt just as proud when I see my soldiers excel. And you don't have to stand up there and say, "Oh, thanks, so and so." No, no,
Yeah.
no. You up there doing your reflection of me. I'm a reflection of you. And if y'all shining,
Exactly.
guess what? I'm shining too, baby. You ain't got to tell
Exactly.
nobody that what I did, how long we stayed and studied, none of that. As long as you keep doing the right thing and you walk in the right way, I don't have to have any of that glory. Just know
That's right.
that I'm proud of you and just keep on doing it. So yes, I totally believe and I agree exactly with what you're saying, that that is a good example. They don't have to be out in the limelight. They want to make sure that all their people eat.
Yeah,
That's
that's right.
good, bro.
That's
I
right.
like that. So, can you share a time when your personal values were tested in a leadership role and how you navigated that challenge?
Oh man, a time with my personal values. Uh, I can think of a few of them, man, but I don't know because throughout our conversation, I think the Spirit is leading me to reflect on the my beginnings in the military. You
Okay.
know, because I can easily think about sometimes like because I came in as enlisted and was commissioned later on, and I can think of several times where and I didn't always get it right.
Yeah.
I remember this time, and I'm almost hesitant because you know I remember this time when I checked on board my first ship after being commissioned,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one of my mentors who lives out in Colorado, she told me, she said, when you walk into what we call the wardroom, where all the officers eat and gather and conversate, she said, you walk in there like, and I'm not going to use profanity, she said, but you walk in there like your poop doesn't stink,
Okay.
right? Because if you don't, they're going to smell blood.
Mm.
And when they smell blood, they're going to try and eat you alive.
Wow.
So, and that was trying, it was kind of hard. It created a tension because I wanted to be humble, you know,
Yeah.
because God, you know, opened the door for me to be successful, to be commissioned. He opened that door. It wasn't me, you know, I had to do my part, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he was overall in charge of running the GPS on
Right.
where I ended up and how I navigated the different programs and, like you said, college and all of that stuff with family. So it was kind of hard, right? But I did it. I walked in and I tried and I carried myself in that manner. And then, like I heard Denzel or one of the actors say how you can get caught up in a role.
Mm.
How some say Tupac got caught up in playing Bishop in
Right.
Juice,
Yeah.
right? So once I went to that first ship and then went to the next ship and then the next ship, I got caught up in that role. And it was hard for me to be humble and
Mm.
display humility.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to show any flexibility. And I knew that was a conflict in what God has called me to be and who He has
Right.
called me and how to represent Him. So, I mean, and that was like from and tell you, I'm saying it's like a 10 years. Well, I say maybe three ships. So
Okay.
average about 3 or 4 years on the ship. So that's like consistently. So
Yeah.
I knew, and I stayed in that role because I was winning in that role.
Mm. Yeah.
Winning as in uh, being promoted,
Right.
and the people around me were being promoted. So in a sense, you can say I got big head, and then sometimes my wife would say, you know, you can be very arrogant,
Mm.
you know. So and I had
Right.
to listen to the people that are close around me, the people who are in my corner, and
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, these are some things that you, some qualities that you are developing that you might want to check that. So
Right.
that was a conflict. That was a personal thing that I had to get under control and get God to help me from not being so arrogant. Because, like I was saying, the way I was brought up, we were taught. My mom taught us that we can do anything. There's nothing I can't do.
That's right.
So I walked on board and walked around the ship in that manner. And in some instances, I probably turned some people away.
Mm-hmm.
And then in some instances, I probably inspired some people.
Yeah.
And I know I irritated some people.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
So
you're gonna do that
God,
anyway. Even if you
yeah,
want
yeah, yeah,
there's people that's
yeah.
gonna be
So
irritated just because
yeah,
you're you and you know you're letting his light shine through you, so you're gonna irritate people.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so how
But
do you
I
think?
was overconfident. I was
Yeah.
overconfident, and I fed it. You know what I'm saying?
So this is so think about this though. if that person, that mentor, didn't give you that nugget, plant that seed, do you think that you would have walked in that manner or in that manner for that amount of time?
It would have took me a amount of time to figure out how to walk,
Mm-hmm.
which could have been detrimental,
Okay.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to my career.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad she told me that. That way I didn't spend that time
Mm-hmm.
figuring it out, trying to
Okay.
figure out how to carry myself. You know what I mean? Because in the Navy,
Right.
we call ourselves Mustangs, right?
Right.
If you go from enlisted to officer, we're considered Mustangs, like the
Okay.
wild Mustangs, wild horses,
Yeah.
untamable. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So that's how we kind of carry ourselves. And you know, a lot of people today like to say, "Well, I'm Type A personality," and it's almost like a moniker that they brag about. You know, I'm Type
Mm-hmm.
A. I never was that kind of person. No, I'm here to do my job.
Right.
If
Right.
my job display a Type A personality, then that's who I am. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this. So if you had a sailor that was coming up and they was like, "Yo, I'm sitting at your table, and I want to do what you've done and what you were doing." What would that conversation look like for you to them? How would you tell them to navigate to be successful, and also knowing what you had went through and how you became, and it wasn't your personality? How would you tell them, set them up to be successful?
Tay, you know, I would tell them to do the same exact thing.
Okay.
I would tell them to do the same exact thing. And I know that may sound crazy, but if I know my form at the free throw line, make sure each free throw shot I shoot, it goes in. And I hear that swish every time I come up there, I'm gonna take the same method.
Mm,
Even though it may be madness to other people, but I'm
yeah.
gonna take that same method to make sure I hit a swish.
Hmm.
So, and I know I like to talk in metaphors of sports
Oh
because
no, bro, it's good.
it
It's good.
translates.
That's right.
So I would tell them to do the same thing, man. But maybe curtail certain aspects of the walk. But I would tell them to approach the walk the same because when I was before I was even commissioned, Tay, I would walk around and this is open a door, right? You opening up a door with that question because I would walk around and people that wore the rank that I wanted to one day walk in and wear on my collar device,
Hmm.
I would ask them questions.
Okay.
I would go up to them. You can ask some of my mentors. I wanted to know, like one was at my retirement ceremony. I wanted to know how did you lace your shoes? How did you what type of agenda or will book did you carry? How did you organize your goals? I
Yeah.
wanted to know almost every aspect of their blocking and tackling that
Okay.
allowed them to get to the quarterback. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So I wanted to know almost every aspect. So, and once I did that, I collected the data, organized it, and I said, this is what they did. I'm gonna take some of what they did and use it my way to get to the same place that they are in that I want to be in.
Hmm.
So I would, yeah, that's how I would approach it, man. Probably be in error, but I would say, hey, run the football the same way I did, with your head down, right, shoulder
Hmm.
square, and butt low, and
Yeah,
just
man.
deliver a blow every chance you get.
Run behind your pads.
Yeah, 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 that's it. That's
That's
it.
good stuff, bro. So, thinking about transitioning, right? So, what has been the most surprising thing about transitioning into retirement? And how do you see God guiding you in the next chapter, in this current chapter?
Man, the transition, the weight of the transition, Tay, it just the weight just became lighter,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Recent. And it's been 2 years because I was looking at the Derrick Rose thing where they just honored him by hanging his jersey in the rafters.
Hmm.
in the Chicago Stadium a few days ago, right? And I thought about that, as retirees, do our jerseys and are we okay with the stats if our jerseys are hung in the Raptors
Yeah.
or we never get accepted into Youngstown
Okay.
for the Hall of Fame? You know what
Right,
I
right.
mean? So
Yeah.
it took me a minute, man, to say, God, I'm okay with the numbers. I was telling my wife tonight, I say, I have no unfinished business. I pray that I finished everything every order that he wrote and that came for me to complete, that I finished them. So
That's
I'm
good, bro.
okay with my jersey being hung in the Raptors, and I'm okay knowing that we both have been accepted into Youngstown to put on the yellow suit
That's right.
jacket.
Come on,
You know
man.
what I mean? For the Army
Yeah.
and the Navy. That's how I look at it, man. But it took me a while to get there, Tay, because I was a few months ago, I came across this quote online and it said, when someone retires, it's like having a death in the family
Mm.
of that, and I tried to articulate to myself what
Yeah.
those emotions felt like when I read that. I was like, man, did a part of me die?
Yeah.
Or did a part of me finally been able to come back to life, to be resurrected?
Yeah.
So I'll still sit with that. I don't think a part of me died. I don't know. But sometimes I look at it, and like you said, I can go back in the game. We can
Mm-hmm.
shave, we can
Yep.
get back in standards,
Yes,
we can go
sir.
back in the game.
Yes, sir.
But then we look at the commercial with Jerry Rice and
That's
the other greats, and they look,
right.
and they take that hit, they
They
be like,
said,
I'm good on the
"No,
couch.
I'm good right here."
I'm good right here.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So I'm
bro.
good right here, man. I'm good with the different. This is a different feeling,
Mm-hmm.
a different phase, but I'm good with the different.
That's good, bro. I like the way you put that. And for you speaking in your metaphors and analogies, bro, that's perfect because I do the same thing. And a lot of people they understand sports, even the people that don't follow it so well.
Hmm.
They could probably catch the sports analogy before they can catch the military analogy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And those references. Um, one of the things, bro, you said, man, that's so good because I had to, in my head, my goal was 30, but my
Hmm.
body said keep playing it way before 24. And so this is how bad it was. So my body was saying no. Um, and every year you guys probably do the same thing. We had to do a PHA, a physical health assessment, right? And so I would say around year 12, 18, about year 18, every year I was getting when I would go to medical, they would be like, hey, Big Sarge, man, hey, why does my thing say you're a candidate for med board? And I'm like, okay, hold on. Just let me explain. I'm probably one of the few people that was talking them out of trying to med board me. And I'm like, no, no, no. Look, doc, I'm good. Check it out. So I'm medical. So I work with a lot of different people. They help me out. And I can still go in the game, coach. I'm still running the front of the pack. I can still work my group out. I'm good. And so I was able to convince these fools forever that I'm good. But like you said, there's no way we could do what we did if the people who was holding that foundation down at home, our wives, our kids, if
Yes.
they weren't doing what they were doing,
Yes.
it's no way that we could have did it. And
No
so my
way, brother.
wife seeing my body break down, it's crazy. It's crazy. Big shout out to all the wives out there, man.
All the wives, all the military wives, all the
All
wives,
and
all the
you know
wives.
what? Let's not say the wives because sometimes it's the female that's actually serving and the spouses. So we're gonna say the spouses
The
that's
spouses.
that's holding it down at home
Agree.
because the military family includes the service member, DoD civilians, and the service members' families, man. And where I work right now, I see a lot of servicemen and women that their families come through, and I'll be like, "Hey, thank you for your service," and they be like, it's my spouse. They're the ones that serve, and I'm like, you haven't been around long.
That's true.
You haven't. I'm telling you, man. If it weren't for my wife, I would not have been 24 years in
That's
service. She
true.
absolutely was the one who pushed me when I thought I'm gonna kill somebody in this joker. With all the Jesus in me, with all of it, I'm like, I am gonna go in here and I'm gonna murder somebody because these fools they think they got the right one today. Oh yes. And no matter how much the storm is right there and the enemy, it's like she was able to come in and calm that storm and refocus and retool. And it always like just thinking about it, even no matter how much we may go back and forth and get on each other's nerves, I think that's God's way of making us keep sharpening the iron
Yeah.
and keep
Good.
keep everything fresh.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter, no matter whatever happened. And I so I fought for the military, I fought for the army, all army couple times, and I played on their basketball teams. And no matter where my coach was, I can always hear my wife over everybody.
Yeah.
I can hear her voice, whether that's her screaming at me, telling me to stop being a wuss. She's out there on the court. You better cross her out. She wants to play. You better break it. I'm like, I don't want to break
Oh,
his arm. Yo, dude, tap. Just tap out, bro. Break it. I don't want to break it.
wow.
It's just one of those things. My biggest cheerleader, hands down, man. I can
All
always
day.
hear. So, big shout out to the spouses, man. And
That's right.
and when I was talking to somebody today, and I was like, um, the word says that when a man finds a wife, he
Yeah.
finds a good thing.
Yes, right.
And so you don't know what you need until you need it.
That's
And
right.
bro, I'm telling you, I say 24 years, bro, she was the bulk of she held that thing together. Even to the end, bro. She duct taping the dang on wheels together because I done told her I wanted to do something. She was like, all right, you can do it. Let's do it. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool. I'm cool. Then you say
That's
you
right.
want to do this. You said you give me this daggone what's a good speech? She gave me a Braveheart speech.
Yeah.
I walked out there with the wheels tucked back on, duct tape all the way around, and I'm back out in front of the formation, leading the troop, leading the path because I had this person that was standing behind me and pushing me and had my back. So,
Yes.
leadership in all levels, brother. We do it, but you have to have somebody that's standing behind you that's holding that fort
That's
down.
right. That's
Leadership.
right.
So thank you so
That's
much
true.
to all of y'all out there that's doing your thing and holding it down. Big shout out because it takes two. And if God put you here by yourself, He gave you some accountability people that's
That's
going to
right.
do that for
That's
you as
right.
well.
That's
So
right. That's real.
for someone that's struggling to lead right now, young leader, they out there, whether they're in the military, civilian, in the church, because I believe that God put us in certain places for reasons so that He can either build us to do ministry somewhere, or I always believe that you're supposed to grow where you're planted at. So
Mm,
ministry don't mean that you're only inside of the four walls doing ministry.
mm,
That's where you're being discipled. So for some
mm.
young leader that's out there struggling to lead, their family, community, what's one piece of advice you would offer them?
Uh, a young leader struggling to lead uh, in the military, or just a husband, or just in any capacity struggling to lead, I would say to them, uh, that's kind of hard, man. Well, what I would say to them, I would say to them something that, and I don't know why this word relax comes to mind. I don't know why that's the first thing come to mind is to relax.
Yeah.
Because my girls and my wife will tell you that it has taken me years to be able to relax
Mm,
and enjoy the fruits of my labor,
mm.
to enjoy the things God had blessed me with. God
Wow.
has and continue to bless me with.
That's
So
good, bro.
uh, it took me a while, man, and even now I'll be off from one goal to the next goal to the next goal, and then in leadership, just to understand that you can relax because there's a lot of help. Help meaning in the Holy Spirit has guided me through so many tough situations. And I would say just relax. And, like they said, let go and let God.
Mm.
And that's true.
That's true.
That is so true, man. I can't tell you how many times, to use another sports metaphor, where God or the Holy Spirit has set a pick for me. And all I had to do was come in and make the layup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But too many times I wanted to set the pick and make the layup.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I want to be in both positions. Some of that proverbial leadership that Solomon demonstrated, like, hey, relax. He'll
Yeah.
give you the wisdom, and then we just have to execute it and use it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I would tell him to relax and let God set the pick,
Yeah, man.
because you're gonna score.
Come
You know
on.
what I mean?
That's
So
right.
he has always set me up to score, like he has as you. We've always scored.
That's right.
Man, if I didn't score on this end of doing this quarter, maybe I scored in the fourth quarter on the other end when the ball was going the other way, on the other
Right.
end of the court. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But too
brother.
many times we want to score in the bucket that we have mentally and psychologically designated as the basket.
Right.
But he said, there's more than one basket on the court,
Yeah.
and I can set a pick anywhere on this court, and my pick will set you up for success.
Mm.
So relax.
That's good, bro. I love it. Oh my God. So relaxing, that's being fully immersed in each moment, right?
Yes.
So my one of my other brothers that he's a CMC. Shout out to Tenacity Watches, those guys. Armand. He said this, and when he said this on the leadership podcast that we do, he said, "Fail forward."
Phil. Yeah.
So you can't be one of the things that I really liked about the military was, they provide opportunities for you to fail successfully, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
tell us don't create environments where your people are afraid to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do, what happens? They can't relax. They like this. They like, oh, I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right. No, 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 no. No, we're going to do this a bunch of times. You're going to stand out here in front with somebody
Yeah.
behind you, and
Yeah.
you're going to take charge of this formation. And I'm going to whisper the right answers to you that you mess up on. Or,
Yeah.
we create a system where we are making sure the military does this. We we train our replacements,
Yes.
right?
Proudfully.
So think about it like this: where else do we do that? That's more important. The church.
The church.
You're
And
training, you literally discipleship is you get them, you bring them in, you teach them to do exactly what you're doing, and then you send them back out there to do the same thing you did. You
exactly. And then
recreate.
we serve a God that demonstrated that. He
Bruh,
picked 12 cats, 12 dudes, and say, hey, I'm gonna train y'all because I gotta go. But when I leave, I'm gonna leave somebody that is gonna
that's right.
indwell you, right? A part of me to make sure you accomplish what I'm showing you
Come
that
on.
needs to get done. He
Yes,
showed us that, but why do we struggle with that?
bruh.
Why
It's because we doing
why do
this
we
right here.
struggle with
I have to get it absolutely 100% right.
that?
Can't relax, man.
Yeah,
You can't relax. So that was so good, bro. I love that. Yes, fell for it, man. And then everybody out there, you just coming in. We are chatting with my brother, and we are talking leadership and life lessons learned. We having a cup of Joe, and any questions, you guys go ahead and put them inside of the chat box. Now, if I am not seeing these messages, forgive me because Twitch has changed since the last time I was on here, and I'm just gonna make sure that I go back and look at everything. Okay. So, next question, bro. What are some daily habits or practices that help you stay grounded as a leader and a person of faith?
so, staying in the word, and I know it
Mm-hmm.
sounds cliche, but and when I say stay in the word, that means that at least 3 or 4 times a week, get up at 5:30 and read my scripture, read the book of wisdom, because
Mm,
if I want it, I have to read it,
you
right?
gotta go
And
and
if
get
I
it.
need it, I need to know where to find it. And once I get it in me, then I know I can apply it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I do that, and I try to stay. stay connected, man. Stay connected to God, man. Because bro, he's been speaking to me all week, man, and in ways that will trip some people out and like, hey, there's no way he told you that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that just happened. Like, yeah, he told me that was going to happen. And then you tell them, but that's not bragging. That's
Yeah,
just knowing over time how I knew his relationship and my relationship was a necessity.
right, right.
That I did not want to wait till I was in the pool waving my hands, drowning, for someone to throw me the the little circle to save
Yeah.
my life. I didn't want to wait. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna go
Absolutely.
in this water, but I'm gonna go in it knowing and trusted that I am connected to him and he is mindful of me. That's one thing I pray is that God continue to be mindful of me.
Hmm.
And that's the way I know if I'm asking him to be mindful of me, I know I have to not return the favor, but I want to be mindful of him.
That's right. That's right.
So I think mindfulness and like you said earlier, awareness.
Yeah.
I've been spending a lot of time on my own emotional intelligence, knowing what emotions trigger what, knowing my own triggers and knowing how to
Mm.
say, hey, okay, there's that feeling. What's
Right.
causing that feeling? You know what I mean? Because I don't want to react out of emotions. I want to make sure I react in a way that honors him, which it don't always happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Mr. Good at two shoes. That sometimes my emotions, do get the best of me. Like Jeremiah said, it's like fire shut up in my bones.
Come on, bro. I'm about to say that.
But sometimes that fire don't always come out like my wife said, doesn't always leak out the way it's supposed to be.
Bro, that joke could just shoot out
It
sometimes.
just shoot out.
It's an all-consuming fire sometimes. Bruh, that's what, bro, you talking for me right now. I'm telling you, people
I'm
be like,
talking for me.
oh, you such a, you're great, you man of God, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, but I want to kill people sometimes. Like, I literally want to choke you sometimes because you can't be that intelligent, and God will hit me. Huh. Be like, hey, hmm, shut your mouth. And then you just gotta be like, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's
He was like, now go to your room and open up your book so that we could talk. And you got to go in there and because that's the thing. People think because you've been in ministry or you grow up in the church that you got it all together. You don't have it together. That's why,
right.
like you said, you got to need time. And it's people, prayer is not necessarily always going to be you getting on your knees. It's going to be however. So the thing that we always have to remember is that it's our heavenly Father. So how do you talk to your dad? You said something just so profound in the beginning. When you talk to God, you talk to him like we having a conversation.
Yes.
Right. That's if I was talking to my dad, that's how I'm gonna talk to him. I'm not gonna come in there and be like do some old ritualistic type stuff and be like, oh thou thee, blah. That's how they talk back in the day. I don't talk like that.
Yeah, I
I
don't
be
talk
like,
like that.
yo, God, so come on,
Yeah,
explain
yeah,
this, please help me,
yeah.
because I don't want to have these feelings towards this person, and I know
Yes.
you want to. I know you're gonna have me around this person, so help me be the best version that reflects your love.
Yeah.
Um,
Extend that grace. Show me how to
exactly,
extend that grace.
bruh.
Right? The same
Exactly.
grace I need. But yeah, you're right, man. You're
That's
right.
it,
I
bro.
mean, every day, man, I know I have to make sure I stay connected. You know what I mean? I don't want my relationship with God to have the blue circle,
Right.
trying to connect. You know what I'm
Trying.
saying?
Having your the old dial up, no, man, no. I want that constant, that optical. As soon as I'm need, matter of fact, he's like, "Hey, come on, we got to have a conversation."
That's right.
Uh, oh look, we
That's
got
right.
some chats. We got some chats. Half a day, brother Johnson. Great show, guys. Understanding emotional intelligence is paramount. Laughing my butt off. You guys are two peas in a pod. Yes, that's from the Jewel Junkie, your sister Jelly Beans.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh. How
Yes.
far? How far day?
Yes. I was wondering if we had anybody out there. I'm like, man, uh-oh. Somebody said awesome message. Steven. Ramos Steven. Yes,
Okay,
thank you guys.
Bishop.
Yeah,
Bishop.
man. That's what's up. Thank you guys for coming out. Team Ramos. Yes.
That's
I
right.
said it wrong. Forgive me.
That's right. That's right.
So
That's a brother, man, that demonstrates, bro, and you're doing it right now. I want to, coin a pathology, but I say the Jimmy Carter pathology.
mm,
People that are inherently who they are,
yeah,
created a habitat for humanity, continue to serve
man,
humanity. You continue to serve your troops even after retirement, even after coming home from work today. Bishop in this area serves the community, handing out food, clothing,
no
cooking for
doubt.
people because that is inherently who he is, and that is inherently who you are, and who we are as men of God. So I call
Right.
that I think that's a testament when you walk off the court and you continue to practice the free throws. You continue
Mhm.
to, you don't isolate yourself. You continue to do those things because that's who we are.
That's right. I love
Yeah.
that you maintain that follow through no matter where you at.
Bro,
Ooh,
I'm stealing that.
come
I'm
on,
stealing
bro.
it.
Come on. He
I'm
said,
stealing
"You are
that.
correct. Glory belongs to God." Amen. So, so good. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, there are viewers a little challenging to post comments for a while, but we're here. Yes. Oh man, bro, we got a whole bunch of visitors popping in. So it was me. It was me. I'm like, I don't see a whole bunch of the chats going on. Oh my God. And Jill Junkie says, Bryant, Kobe. Okay. Kobe Bryant on it. Yes, absolutely. So I want to give a shout out to you guys, bro. Team Johnson, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you, when we first came back from when we got back from Germany, so we touched down in Chi-Town. So I'm like, yo, we gonna get some good food and we about to woo, yes. And they joker said, COVID. Lockdown. Everything was locked down. So we brand
What?
new PCS just got to Chicago, North Chicago area, and bro, COVID hit, lockdown. So PCSing. PCSing is a permanent change of station for those who don't know. Um, so you get to a new station. One thing you do is you go around and you get lost, right? You figure
Yeah.
out where your housing, how you get to work, your base,
Yeah.
and all this crazy stuff. We were locked down, and I'm just like, oh my God. And so in the process of trying to figure it out, um, you guys started going online and you guys started doing ministry online, bro. That was so dope because for those who don't know, I'm finishing my doctorate right now and it's in digital ministry. Yes. Which is so crazy. It's so crazy, right? Because it's like I was praying about it. I finished my master's. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing any more school. And the Lord was like, just finish it out. And so just going down that road, I decided to go doctor education and then Christian leadership with a focus in digital ministry.
Mhm.
You guys were doing so. I've actually utilized y'all in some of my papers because it's like one of those things where people the church is notorious for having a religious spirit sometimes,
Mm.
right? We could get real legalistic, right? We can
Mm.
we can become that same Pharisee and Sadducee that actually put Christ on the cross. Uh,
Mm.
and sometimes we just got to remember that he said with love is the most important, and the second
That's right.
is love your brother, your neighbor, right?
Yes.
So when we have all these people that's like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, but when the world is saying you absolutely better not, you guys said, huh? Like the military, they teach us don't hit a wall and say that's it, right? We got to find a way. It's not okay, I tried one time and that's it. You guys, y'all found a way around that thing. Y'all was on what was it? Zoom,
It was
Teams,
it was on Zoom and Facebook because we were
Facebook.
in. I was an interim pastor at the time at our church here in Norfolk, and that
Yeah,
was yeah, yeah.
bruh. That big shout out to you guys. I'm telling you, man. Um, it's still in its infancy right now, and it's so important. And it's so funny because it's like I had already started doing podcasting because of the soldiers, and then the Lord put digital ministry on it. I was like, "There's no such thing as a degree in digital ministry. Stop playing." And it absolutely was right there. And I'm like, "All
Wow,
right, here I am," and I'm
that's
four
awesome.
classes away from Dr. Gifford and having to get to work.
You say 4?
4 class. It's the dissertation. So,
That's awesome, bro.
woo, rah.
That's
Yes,
all, especially as we
yes.
move into a digital, we already moved into a digital
We
society. I
already
mean,
there.
that is a primary form of communication.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So I really not to put it on me. I'm saying that you guys laid foundation that, as I moved into it, it was like, oh, my brother and sister, they were doing these things. And so I can go back, I can look at some of the stuff that you guys did, and I can say, okay, um, some of the things that this is off the rip, okay, we can't have services. Some people got sick. They can't
Yeah,
come to service no more.
yeah,
Guess what
yeah.
they could do? They can pull that Facebook account up and be on Facebook Live. And there go my pastor or my brother, my sister,
That's right.
and they can still have that community, right?
That's right.
So I talked to my mom about this, right? And you look into the word, and when they looked and they did prophecies and all the other crazy stuff, and they were talking about stuff, and then it's in the word, they utilized the maximum amount of vocabulary they could use to describe stuff they
Mm-hmm.
saw,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Christology. Yeah.
what if some of the stuff that they were seeing was just the digital age? They just didn't know how to say they were on a cell phone talking, or they were it was people all from all over the world. They was just right there at the same time. It's just like what if they were seeing what we're doing right now as
Wow.
the church all over one body functioning all at the same time in different forms and fashions all over. It's crazy, right?
It is.
So I think that the digital does not take over, but the digital empowers the physical because when we do have those situations where there's brothers and sisters that just can't get to us, we can still reach out and have that same love and impact, on them, for them, and let them know we still love you, we still care for you. They kicked me out of the hospital when my wife got COVID. They tricked me. They tricked me. Oh yeah. They was like, oh yeah, go home, get her stuff, and you can come on back. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went home, came back. They was like, "Oh no, sir, you can't go back there. She's in a one of those units."
What?
Yeah, bro. And I'm in the hallway like furious, scared, sad, because
Yeah.
COVID is new. So
Yeah.
what do I do? And so I was like, I sat outside in the waiting room. I'm texting her. And so we went through a whole bunch of just emotions. So for me, thinking about it, it's like, yeah, we have to utilize the tools that we were given.
Yeah.
One of the things that came up in the thing was that, oh no, it's taken away. How is it taken away? If there's a tool, a gun is not going around killing people.
No.
It's the user.
It's the
You telling
user.
me that if somebody can get saved on an Xbox Live video game because the person they playing against happened to be a man or woman of God who lets their light shine through Xbox world or PlayStation world, whatever it is that you're going on, you telling me
Yeah.
that, oh, it's that online stuff is for the devil? No, 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 no. We have to utilize that tool,
That's
and
right.
right. So we
That's
can't
right.
be afraid to go out there. And if those people are afraid, then you just stay where you are, and God will line the people up that He have to do it to go forth and do those things. So
True statement.
yes.
True. That's the
So I'm
word.
missing. I'm missing some. Hey, pretty Jade and fam, we are here. The boys are hyped seeing their papa on Twitch. That's Jade. What's going on, Jade? All right, so touch on the importance of leadership in the home because our families are our first ministry. Ooh, Gunner's girl. Ooh, I like that one. You want to hit it? So touch on the
uh,
importance of
of
leadership in the home. I think we hit it a little
I
bit.
think we did because you know what I like about that question is as I've grown in ministry, I used to be afraid that if I sit down with my girls, Jade and Anastasia, and my wife, and my grandkids, and my friend, I'll just keep it with my immediate family, my girls and my wife. And if I would ask them, you know, well, how do I carry myself? Do one of my homies brought this said this one day, and I believe it's true. He said, "Does my audio match the video?"
Mm.
And I would used to be
Oh,
afraid to ask them that, Tay, but now, man, Tay, I'm not afraid to ask my girls that,
that's good, bro.
because
You
I
got
love
no.
them
I gotta
immensely.
stop you. I gotta
Huh?
stop you. I gotta stop you. Does my audio match my video, bro? You gotta just a little bit. You gotta explain that. What is that?
Do what I preach and teach match the way I walk and talk?
Yes.
You know, do you experience me being wishy-washy in what I say
Hmm.
and then in how I live?
Yeah.
Because I think too many times as clergymen like we are, we can get caught up playing the role for the church.
Yeah.
But when we come home with the family, we don't continue to show the love and self-control
Mm.
and fruits of the spirit that God has harvested in us through the Holy Spirit to them. So if I'm not showing them love, how am I going to show you love in the church?
That's
How am
right.
I going to do that? How am I
Right.
going to do that at work? And I know in some instances I'm guilty of it.
Right.
But I thank God that I have girls in a family that have exonerated me and forgiven me because they know the heart of me is to love them
Mm.
and the heart of me is to be me. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
being me is loving them. So I always want to make sure that my audio match my video because I think, and this sounds crazy, but I think when we get to heaven, God is going to sit me down, each one of us. I know we're not going to be judged for our works as Christians, but those who don't believe him are going to be judged for things, and we're going to be judged for things. And he's going to sit me down in front of the that 77-inch screen and say,
That
hey,
big old screen.
you know what I'm saying? And he's going to have the remote in his hand and he's going to be saying, playing the video. And I want to make sure that my story matches the story that he designed for me
Mm.
and that my story, my walk and my talk match in front of the people who matters most to me.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
So,
That's
and that's my
so
girls, man.
That's good, bro. Oh my God. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I need my audio to match my video all the time. But if you guys grew up back when I grew up, man, I used to be he said you just hit a three-pointer. Yes, with the follow through. Okay. I used to watch the old karate flicks, so the audio didn't match what they was,
Yup.
so it was off. So if you guys don't understand what he's saying, it's one of those when you try to watch. I still watch them like that. I love
You
those
going
karate
deep
flicks.
now, man. You going deep.
But look, bro, so check this out. When your audio don't match your video and your family see you doing these things out here, but then when you get home, you're thinking, okay, I'm just able to relax. I just need to be able to. And so you're still got to have, like you said, your heart. You got to be able to understand that just as much effort that we put into this part that we're doing to take care of others, our homes, and all, whether
Yeah,
you're at work or in the church, whatever, you're doing it because most of us were doing it because we were wanting to take care of home.
yeah,
You still got to understand when you get home, there's work to be done, and that's the
yeah.
hard part, right?
That's hard,
Because
man.
you're thinking that I could just let my hair down and be free here, which you should be able to, but you
Yeah,
still got to understand that that love that you're showing, if you're not careful, the enemy can utilize that, plant a seed of where people don't, they're like, okay, this is what this is the church, and then we get church hurt from family in our
yeah,
house. Oh, they
yeah.
just fake because you act like this at church, but when we get home, you're doing this. So we have to really, really, really be intentional. And I'm talking to myself because I was guilty of it, bro. I used to hear, "I'm not one of your soldiers" all the time. I'd be like, "I'm not trying to make you one of my
Bro,
soldiers."
my wife still called me by my last name, man. And you know that. She still
Yeah,
called
bro.
me Johnson.
Bro, I'm like, yo, that's just crazy. I'm not trying to make you one of my soldiers, but it's one of those things where when it's said, then sometimes God will play it back, and then I'll see it, and I'll be like, okay, well, I might not me, you know, whoever, whether I'm talking about brother, minister, sergeant, whoever, I might not be like, okay, I see that, but I have to understand the heart of the person who was sent to protect me. And
Yes,
so if even though this person may have struck that chord right on point, right on time, and the enemy used it, I still have to be careful when I strike the chord back
that's right.
because that's just what the enemy want to do. He want to separate the house and then allow for
Yes,
all of that stuff that happens because if he can't get the body, if he can't get the head, he's gonna go for the body. And if he knows anything, the heart, if he can get to that person that has your heart,
Yeah.
then he can go ahead and take you out. So
Yeah.
such
That's
a
true.
good question, man. Oh my God, that was a great question because it is important. And that's one of
Yes.
the things that, I mean, look at it. What causes most of the issues in marriages, right? It's you separate people based on differences that's not really a difference if they could just communicate. So
Hmm.
if we understand that keeping that communication, maintaining the lines of communication, even if it's a now we could do a text message, be like, hey, my bad. I'm so sorry that came out like that. Now I'm not giving you a green light for there are toxic people. And if you're in a toxic relationship, I am not telling you to stay in that place
That's right.
and continue accepting that because that's something that the Lord, if I'm wrong, Lord, help me. He's not gonna put you in a situation where you're in harm's way, right? So I'm not saying that. I'm saying in a regular marriage. I talked to somebody the other day that was 70 years together, and I'm like, they
Awesome.
still traveling.
That's
They
awesome.
I thought it was maybe 60, maybe 65, 70 max, but they've been together. And they were still in there. He was flirting with his wife and she was spicy with him. And it was just like I'm like, dang, this is this it when I looked at him, I said, well, this is how me and my wife are. We're best friends. We bump heads, but she'll always come back. You want something to eat? And I'll be like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, let's go get something to eat, and it's like the Lord be like, you gotta humility,
Right.
bruh. The hardest thing for most guys, right? Especially, I won't say A types, but if you're a leader, it's hard sometimes for you to be like to humble yourself. And
It
I
is,
love
man.
this line, you guys. This is one of my favorite lines from a Christian hip hop artist. He said, he only gave us crowns to put them at his feet, right? And so, what is he saying? He's going to exalt you, but he's going to exalt you only because he knows that you're going to humble yourself and then let him get the credit for it.
You talking about Lecrae or Blind Elephant?
It wasn't Blind Elephant. It
Okay.
was it was Swoop. Swoop. He was
Okay. Swoop. I listen to Swoop too. Yeah.
yeah. He was with the Kings. They call us Kings, King something. Yeah, it was he said he only gave us crowns so that we can put them at his feet.
Hmm.
And bro, when he said that, I had a visualization, and I'm like, how many times have you been? Just look at the children of Israel, and I know we about to go. We gonna have to get
Yeah.
ready to shut it
Yeah.
out for a second.
Yeah.
But he told him, "You don't want a king? I'm here. What do you want?" Like, no, we need a king. Got the king. What did he do? Exactly what God said he was gonna do. They're gonna exalt himself. They're gonna take some of your food, your money, your women, all these
E-
different things, right?
Exploit you.
Is right. So he wants that heart, the shepherd's heart. A lot of times
Yes.
we don't realize it because shepherd isn't a popular occupation these days.
Mm.
And so we don't
Mm.
really talk about the heart and the actual work of a shepherd. We know pastors, but do we know shepherds?
Man, when I was in Guam, I'm not Guam, but when I was in Greece last
Mm.
few winters ago, my last deployment, that's the first time I saw a shepherd. And they were talking about how he bring the goats down off the mountain. So Tay, we on this excursion, and the mountain was like almost 90 degrees. And I'm like, how in the world? And the people in the city was like, yeah, they're able to walk with their feet on the side of the mountain, and the shepherd brings them down. And we like looking like there's no
There
stairway
ain't
for
no
the shepherd.
stairs.
Where's he walking? And they
Yeah.
follow him down, man. So I thought about the way and the trust that the sheep has to have in the shepherd
Yeah,
in that instance. And I was like, man, that speaks volumes.
bro.
To see a shepherd, and all he had was a big stick, walking Greek guy, old Greek guy, walking. They say how it changes the elevation, changes the taste of the cheese when they make the
Mm.
goat cheese and the milk,
Wow.
and how he brings them down from the mountain and takes them back up certain times. And I was like, that's just like God, how he elevates us sometime and how he brings us down low.
Yeah.
And then that changes the taste and it changes who we are
Mm.
depending on the position that he places us in.
Bro.
But we would not make it to that different position if we did not trust him to come down or to go up to follow him. And
Yeah,
I was
man.
like, man, that's when I saw that dude, I was like, man, what is that? They said, that's a shepherd. I'm like, whoa. First
Bro,
time I ever seen one, a
that's
real one.
crazy, bro.
Well, I ain't gonna say that because I've seen Jesus. I see, our relationship. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, but we don't have like a good working like visualization of it when we say
No.
he says I'm the good shepherd. People be like, oh, okay, he's a good shepherd, you know. But when you see that shepherd, this one I was listening to this thing the other day. They said that he said that my sheep know my voice.
Yes.
And then if you understand the relationship between a shepherd and whatever he's herding, there's stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, his cattle or flock is. And when he comes out there, he calls them and all these different things, and they know him, you'll get a better, appreciation and
Yeah.
everything for the good shepherd and the
Yeah.
role of being a shepherd.
Yes.
So, bruh, what? Hold on, what we got? Oh, it says you just hit a three-pointer. Digital ministry expands the gospel. There are people and places that gospel can't be taught. Absolutely, digital ministries has the ability to touch and agree in spirit without physical presence. The word has power regardless. Come on now. It said when audio doesn't match video, you start to breed fence riders. Neither hot nor cold. That's lukewarm. Yes, this is Gunner's girl.
Wow.
Ramos, if your marriage should be a representation of the church to Jesus. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And the last one, great conversation. My favorite saying is you can preach a better sermon with your life than with your lips. Stay the course, brothers. Be blessed. That's so rough in the beach. Yes. Rough in the beach. Yes,
So feel
yes,
right. Yeah. Sister-in-law. That's right.
yes. Oh, that's you guys. Y'all should have just been on the show and just,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. So I try to be a good steward of time, bro, because this
Yes, sir.
absolutely, man. I love to do this, especially for me. It's leadership lessons and life learned.
Mhm.
Leadership and life lessons learned. Um, and when I could do it with my brothers and sisters
Yes. Yes.
that I serve with or around, and also they're in the ministry and
Mhm.
they're not afraid to just let the Lord say and do and work through them.
Yeah.
That's even the best. Nothing against any of my other guests. I do love to have people on that's just gonna, because you can get information from everybody,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
But when I get it like this, and you can do the metaphors and analytical stuff, bruh,
Same here, bro.
bruh.
Same here.
So we're gonna hit two more questions. All right. So what excites you the most about the next season of your life, and how do you see God working through it?
I think what excites me the most, and then not that I'm like, I want God to follow me because me and my wife had that conversation. I seem like some of us as Christians, we want God to follow us.
Right.
But I think what excites me the most is I know that He's the author and finisher of my faith, but just me and Him and my wife, because I've asked her on things that what she think I should do.
Mm-hmm.
So what excites me is that I have 50% of the vote. It's not no longer Uncle Sam has 98% of the
That's
vote.
right. That's right.
so
Yes,
so
bro.
that the,
Facts.
the the freedom and liberty in knowing that I can have a decision in how I be me as I continue to figure out and develop me and find me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just, I mean, just, and that's what I think I'm doing in this season of life is finding me.
Okay.
And the more I look for me, I know I'm gonna find more of thee, and that
Mhm.
is the God and the leader of my life.
Yeah.
That I will find more of Him. I will learn more of Him. So I just love this point where I'm just finding me, man, and I get 50% of that vote. He gets 51%. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Look, if you guys do not understand what he's talking about, it's you do have a choice and the decisions, but you mess your life up if you make the wrong one because
The
they
wrong
give you
one.
a yeah, man. When you're in the military and you got that contract, they're like, yeah, you can go,
Yeah,
but your life is over from that point.
that's
So
right.
yes, that is facts, man. It is absolutely. I can that resonates with me because whew, when I retired, I felt the same way. Like, dang, man, I could grow out my hair. I don't have to
Yes.
shave. I don't have to go get a shaving profile or a shaving chit so that I can not have razor bumps. Um, it was crazy, bro. So something so simple as that, like they don't understand. Like it's like if you're in front of a formation or you're the leader, you don't want to look like a dirtbag, right?
No.
Just like so, this is the same exactly how I felt while I was in the military. Is how I feel for God. It's like I don't want to look like or be a dirtbag. I
Yeah.
want to be. I want to be a very bright shining light. So when there's a person that's going through life, like was it Elijah, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, just kill me, take me out. I'm the only one." And he'd be like, "No, no, no, look out there. Look, I got soldiers everywhere."
Yeah.
You can see those bright lights that's out there, that's still out there.
Yeah.
They're serving, they're still carrying the cross, they're still doing their thing, marching
Yeah.
and just moving it forward, as
Yeah.
far as we can.
Yeah. Even in your clothing brand, Jericho.
Oh yeah,
Just
bro.
knowing that you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jericho. You know what I'm
Jericho.
saying?
Yes,
And how many
sir.
walls that we have built up around us
Woo.
in the different roles we play. So now that I'm outside of the military, that's one wall or several walls that God has allowed to be torn down.
Yes.
And now
Sir.
I have the freedom to move about the plane and experience the turbulence. But he
Yeah.
is there with me in that elevation, in that turbulence. So freedom, man, and liberty, man. Just you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Look, we got some more. So they said this super guest was a long time coming. Jelly Beans, powerful podcast. Thank you. Just privileged to hear men and God chop it up. Gunner's
That's
girl.
it.
Ramos, love you, brothers. We love you too. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And so, the last
Okay.
thing is giving you the opportunity to shout out, and if you're doing anything in the community, talk about your church. If you guys are doing stuff, how to get people connected so that they can come out and be involved if they're in your area.
Okay. I'm a member of the American Legion, Post 190 here in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Okay.
So before the election, we organized, my wife and I and the American Legion Riders, we organized a voter registration. So your boy's
Okay.
trying to get into politics, right? Long
Okay.
story short,
Yeah.
uh, uh, but the wife has reins on that. She reel me in every now and then, because because I'll be wanting to be on Pennsylvania Avenue, you know what I'm saying? But she said, hey, you can't start out on Pennsylvania Avenue, bro. You can't do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, but just to get involved with, and I would say recommend to everybody to emphasize, get involved with your local politics.
Come on, say that
Know who
louder,
your
bro.
congresswoman is, know who your congressman is, know what district you live in. Go on and call them and find out, because every time you call them, they have to log your call. So if you
Mm,
call your congressman and ask them a question, and if you don't know what question to ask them, say, what legislation are you working on?
hmm
Call your congressman if you know any bills that may be making their way up to Congress and you want to know how they affect you and your
hmm
community. Ask those questions. Go online. There's a website online. I don't know verbatim, but I know there's a website that you can go on, and I think it's Ask Your Congressman, and they'll give you your congressman's phone number. They'll give you your city council. Go start going to your city council meetings. Start going to PTA meetings.
Yeah.
Even if you do not have kids that attend that school, and you have that school in your neighborhood,
hmm
go to PTA meetings. Get
Okay.
involved with local politics. Get involved with learning and understanding how civics work.
Yeah.
That way we can continue to bridge the gap between the generational gap that we have, and teach them and learn from them on how to be and continue to be activists, and
Okay.
how to be activists and working on the right thing, working
Right.
in the right place, joining and working with the right organizations,
Mhm.
NAACP, American Legion. If you're part of a fraternity, the Divine Nine, get involved with your local politics. Know who your governor is,
Yeah.
right? Get involved with your local politics. That way you would know what's going on in your community and you can express your voice. Don't be so emotional about politics. To me, and what I'm learning is politics is about where the resources are being allocated
Mm-hmm.
and who comes out and voices what resources they need so they can receive some of those resources and they can be allocated to them and in their neighborhood. So get involved. That what I would say. Don't wait to November the 5th every 4 years.
4 years.
Get involved because we have local officials that get elected. We have certain places you live, defense attorneys, judges. All of these are elected officials. So in certain areas, not in every one of them, but just get involved with your local
Yeah.
politics. That's all I would say.
That's good, bro. I say that so often. It's so good to hear you say it. Your commissioners, all these people. Yes, because the way you affect that presidential level is by affecting your local level.
That's right.
And if you didn't know how they tried to take the church out of politics? No, in the beginning, it was part of it. All those people, they understood you got to keep God in this to make sure that this thing works the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's very good, bro.
Yeah.
So you said the website is just Google Ask Your Congressman.
Yeah, you can Google ask your congressman. I know when I called our congressman, the young lady sent me to fed.gov
Mm-hmm.
and then I was able to look up a certain bill that they were getting ready to vote on. So there's different ones. I should have had them written down in my phone, but I don't. But just Google your congressman and find out what district you're in and kind of memorize and know what district you're in and what delegates, work,
Good.
that are for you and people that are elected officials that work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Jimmy
Exactly.
Carter, he believed that the people, like he said on his documentary, it is time for the people to run Washington and not Washington run the people.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So
That's right.
we can see where that is kind of leading us into a direction that we may not all want to go down or benefit from equally.
Right.
So getting involved is the way we can to make your voice be heard and your vote be heard. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
So Gunner's girl said the goal is to introduce people to Christ so they can walk in their purpose. Yes, everybody is called to make a divine difference. Absolutely.
that's
And
right.
that difference is at every level, even in politics,
That's right. That's right.
especially in politics.
Especially in politics. Yeah,
We're not supposed to be stuck in just the four walls of the body in the structure because the church is the people.
yeah,
We're supposed to get out there and all of our occupations, whether you're a teacher, military service member, any of those different occupations out there. Your coach sports. I really love when I see those guys before and after games, or I watched one player get hurt and the young man walked over and he asked him if he can pray. And you know what I'm saying? It's so good that that these things. Now I'm praying. We're not the only people that pray, but afterwards they talked to him and they said they was the Lord, Jesus. They say these things, so prayerfully, they're not agents.
yeah, yeah,
But it's good that we see it, and I'm definitely prayerful that we start seeing more of it because the enemy is getting bold. The church got to get bold. We got to
yes,
be
that's
just
true.
as bold because in the last days, it's
That's
gonna
true.
get rough. So
Yeah,
everybody got to get on their armor and be prepared for war.
that's true.
On that note, everybody, this is my man, my brother Johnson,
My
and
boy Tay,
yes, sir, yes, and we are on this podcast doing leadership and life lessons learned. And if you guys missed any of it, you can always go back and watch it from the beginning. You have questions, concerns, or issues, you can shoot them to us still after this is over, or you can go ahead and follow up at what's the number? I'm gonna put it inside of this thing. It's pappag Papa Gift at gmail.com. So if you have any questions, concerns, or issues, and or you want to, suggest somebody or we want to talk yourself, you go ahead and send us a message, okay?
that's
Bro,
right.
I love you. I thank
Love
you. I
you too, bro.
appreciate you being on the show. And you
Yes,
guys
sir.
have a wonderful evening. Don't you go anywhere, sir. Everybody else, y'all have a good evening, good night, and God bless you.
Blessing.